When Selena Gomez confirmed in December 2023 that she was dating Blanco, the news rippled through fans and media alike, not just because it ended months of speculation about her personal life, but because of who he was. Not another actor or fellow Disney alum, but a record producer who had spent years shaping the biggest songs of the last decade from behind the scenes. To many, it seemed like an unlikely pairing, the global pop star who had grown up in the public eye and the eccentric hitmaker who preferred studios to spotlights. But to those who paid closer attention, it made perfect sense, because their story was not built on spectacle but on quiet chemistry that had been developing long before the world caught on. Selena, born in Texas and raised in front of cameras, had lived much of her life with her heart on display, her struggles with health and fame dissected in headlines, while Benny, born in Virginia, had carved his reputation in the shadows, letting his work with artists like Justin Bieber, Ed Sheeran, and Rihanna speak louder than his name. Their lives ran on parallel tracks until music brought them together, and what began as collaboration in studios eventually became connection beyond them. By late 2023, Selena was posting openly about Benny, defending him against critics and telling fans he was the best thing that's ever happened to her. A declaration that marked a shift for someone who had spent years keeping relationships private after the endless speculation of her early 20s. The reaction was immediate, some fans protective, some skeptical, many simply happy to see her smiling again. But what mattered most was the way Selena herself spoke about the relationship, not as a headline but as a grounding force in her life. Over the next year, their bond only grew stronger, and on December 15, 2024, they announced their engagement, confirming what their affectionate public appearances had already suggested, that this was not a fleeting romance, but a commitment. The timing carried symbolic weight. Selena, in her early 30s, stepping into a chapter defined not by survival but by stability, and Benny, in his mid-30s, moving from background architect to partner in both music and love. Just months later, on March 21, 2025, the couple released their joint album, I Said I Love You First, a project that blurred the line between art and diary, with songs that played like conversations between two people navigating love in the spotlight while trying to protect its intimacy. For fans, the album became more than music. It was an invitation into the private world of a couple whose bond was rooted not in performance, but in authenticity. Benny, often humorous and self-deprecating, admitted in interviews that he had been the last to realize he was in love, while Selena spoke of the project as a reflection of their journey together, a reminder that the most meaningful art often comes from lived experience. Their relationship, of course, has unfolded under the constant gaze of cameras, but what makes it resonate is the way they choose to share it, not as spectacle, but as a story of two people finding steadiness in each other after years of turbulence. For Selena, whose public life has been marked by childhood stardom, health battles, and the pressures of global fame, Benny's presence has been described as a source of peace. For Benny, who built his career giving voice to others, loving Selena has brought him into a spotlight he never chased but now embraces with ease. Together they balance the public and private, appearing on red carpets, celebrating milestones with fans, but also retreating into quiet spaces where their relationship is theirs alone. And in a culture where celebrity romances often feel manufactured or fleeting, theirs feels refreshingly human, full of playfulness, imperfections, and above all, genuine care. It is a love story written not in gossip columns, but in late-night studio sessions, in candid photos of laughter, in lyrics that carry both vulnerability and joy. Beyond the headlines, what lingers is a reminder that even under the brightest lights, intimacy is possible, healing is real, and love can be both ordinary and extraordinary. Their music may be loud, their fame global, but the relationship between Selena Gomez and Benny Blanco is ultimately about something quieter. Two people choosing each other, again and again, in a world that rarely lets love remain simple.